Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm in the Model S today, as that's probably the best place to talk about the Model 3 until I can actually get my hands on one. And if you have ordered a Model 3, you're probably going to have to wait quite a while now. So if you haven't heard recent news, Tesla are behind on Model 3 production. From July to now, their target was to produce 1,500 of them. Apparently that number's only 250 because they've faced all kinds of issues at their Gigafactory. But never mind, hey, I think this is still a good opportunity to kind of talk about the Model 3 and how it differs from the Model S. Now, 400,000 people have shown an interest in the Model 3 with the number of deposits that have been placed. So you know, if you're looking at ordering one right now, you will not get it for at least probably the end of next year, going into 2019. But for those of you that have, or for those of you that are just interested in one, what can you actually expect? You know, the biggest reason why you don't see loads of Model S's on the road is down to the price, really. This particular 75D, I think it had a list of over £80,000. What that is in America would probably be similar, although the pricing structure has changed over the last few months. Now, the Model 3 should start at just over half the cost of a Model S. At the minute, there are only two variants. The basic level Model 3 will have a battery pack that will give you a range of slightly over 200 miles, and the other variant will be 300 miles. So basically, it's quite similar to this one. This is the 75D. And even if you opt for the slightly smaller battery variant, 200 miles is more than enough for. It's more than reasonable, I'd say. I mean, in terms of looks, you know, you can see that it shares similar features to the Model S in terms of its exterior styling. You've still got that fairly sleek overall package. Although for myself, I'm not too sure. I think the Model S looks quite stylish, but the Model 3 looks a bit. It doesn't look too appealing to me. It doesn't look that sporty, whereas, you know, with the front end styling of this does. But that's just my own opinion. You're probably not interested in that. You know, you do still get that massive windscreen that kind of extends all the way back. You know, so visibility is really great for everything in front of you. I mean, in terms of options, I think the base one in the UK will probably cost about £35,000 or so. We'll have to wait and see. I think UK deliveries won't happen until the new year. But in general, you get everything that you need. Probably not the same level as this, obviously, but they do offer like I think is it a premium pack? I can't remember the name, but it's $5,000. So in the UK, again, what will that be? £3,000–4,000. But what it gives you: full heated seats, you get a full panoramic sunroof, better trim. I think you get actual real wooden trim like you do in this, an upgraded stereo, and a few other bits and pieces. So it's actually very good value for money. I can't see anyone not choosing that. You know, I think for the money, it completes it basically. Once you've got that, you've pretty much got everything you need. And at that price point, you're looking at, you know, the Model 3 is there to compete against the Audi A4, A5, BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes C-Class. You know, in terms of performance, it will annihilate them straight off the bat. The base Model 3 will do 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. The one with the slightly bigger battery will do it in half a second quicker, so 5 seconds is dead. And that's pretty quick for a car that, you know, especially if you're coming from something like a C-Class or a 3 Series. If you're in the UK, it'll probably be a 2-litre diesel, thereabouts. You know, you won't be getting close to a 0 to 60 time of 5 seconds, and it's that instant acceleration that I always mention whenever I drive this car. You just, you know, you won't get that with a combustion engine. So that'll be the biggest difference for you guys stepping into a Tesla from wherever you're used to driving anyway. Probably make you feel quite childish. You'll just want to keep putting your foot down for no real reason. I mentioned that the Model S drives very well for a car of its size. I can completely expect that to be true for the Model 3, if not a bit better actually, because it's a smaller car. Naturally it's going to be lighter, and therefore more nimble, so the balance will be even better still. It'll feel quite good to drive, again, compared to similar cars. I mean, in terms of the interior layout, it is very minimalistic, I suppose. So like you get in this car, you've got a massive screen, a portrait screen. Instead, in the Model 3, it's landscape. I think is it 15 inches? I think it's about 50. I think it's a 15-inch screen, but it's like a floating screen that you find in Mercedes, and I'm not a big fan of the floating thing. It's been designed to look as sleek as possible. I think it does the job. And the main difference, you do literally everything on that 15-inch screen. The only two buttons on the car, you've got two scrollers like you do in the Model S here, but there is one big, in my eyes, cock-up that they've done with the Model 3, and hopefully they do something to rectify it, because I know it's going to annoy a lot of people, not just myself. No matter how long you've been driving for, you'll be used to a kind of display in front of you with your speed, revs, that kind of thing. Whether you've got an old analog type dial or you've got Audi's latest virtual cockpit, the Model 3 has done away with anything in front of you, anything in front of the steering wheel. So if you want to look at your speed, range, all of that, you're going to have to look at that screen, and for me that's distracting, irritating and dangerous. When you're approaching speed cameras and things like that, you just want a quick glance down at the dash to get your speed, rather than having to divert your attention to this floating screen that'll be somewhere there. A fix for that would be to have like a head-up display where it'll project like the key information, your speed and probably battery range. Why they've done that, I've absolutely no idea. Apart from that, I can't see too much else wrong with the Model 3. A lot of the tech from this will have filtered down into the Model 3. You still get the autopilot features, although whereas a lot of the features come as standard on the Model S. I think if the more autonomous you want the car to be, you have to pay a bit more. I think there's two levels of autopilot for the Model 3. But then again, the fact that the car will cost almost half as much as a Model S, it's still good value for money, because that was the big thing. Although the running cost for a Tesla is literally practically nothing compared to your everyday car, the upfront cost was really off-putting for most people. So that with the Model 3, hopefully that eradicates that. In 1 or 2 years' time, you can expect there to be a performance model of the Model 3 to go up against the BMW M3, Mercedes C63, RS4, that kind of thing. It'll never be to the same performance level as the Model S P100D for obvious reasons. That's their flagship car. They'll probably make it slightly slower, but the P100D could do 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds or something absolutely ridiculous. So performance model of the Model 3, you're probably looking at 2.5 seconds, maybe slightly below 3 seconds. So that's still enough to annihilate 99% of supercars, let alone sports cars. Would I want one? I don't know really. I know everything's heading in the electrical direction. If they made well, if and when they bring out the performance version of the Model 3, I think that could be a potential. You know, it would make a good sports car, to be fair. You know, I'm very impressed with the handling in the Model S for such a massive car. You know, compared to my CLA 45 and just other cars that I've driven, it's a lot nicer to drive than you think. The only niggle is this interior is not, you know, if you've got the P100D, you have the same interior, and the difference in price is almost double. You know, P100D with a few bits and bobs on, you're looking at £150,000 in the UK, and you know, the interior doesn't match that kind of quality. So hopefully that interior quality does come up with future Tesla models. I can't imagine the inside of the Model 3 will be built to the same standard as the equivalent Audi. You know, this has loads of rattles inside. It's already been in to have rattles fixed, and new ones have developed. It's a pain in the backside, really, to be fair. But yeah, in summary, the Model 3, you're looking at £35,000 roughly in the UK, a range starting from 200 miles all the way up to 300 miles, which is more than enough. It's similar to this. Performance will again be pretty good, slightly slower than the Model S, but that's, you know, that's something they'll have done on purpose. But you know, 0 to 60 time of 5 seconds flat, that feels pretty nippy. You know, in a world where cars are getting ridiculous and they're heading into 3 seconds, but you know, for a normal everyday saloon, that's practical. 5 seconds is more than enough. So there you have it, guys. If you found this video useful, if it gave you a bit of an insight into what we can expect from the Model 3, give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below for more Tesla content and general car content. Thanks for watching, guys.